All right, and here we are in the finale of Doom 2016.
How would you pronounce that? Dinner?
Argent Denure.
Dinner.
All right. Ooh, swirly Photoshop magic.
I hear nothing from Hayden. It's weird. It's almost
I think we're
beautiful.
beyond. I don't think he's ever been able to talk to us in hell.
Oh, you're right. So before I forget for the third time in a row, I want to bring up a little program I bought at the end of the year called Vorp X. I'm not sponsored, but basically it's a software trying to hotfix a game, any first-person game, to be in VR compatible. And I have yet to try it, but this is one of the games I really want to try it with because Doom VFR I've heard is okay. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the VR Doom?
I have actually played Doom VFR. It's fine.
Hey, is that Doom guy?
Yeah, this is Argent Denure. This is where he originally ruled.
Oh, I see. But yeah, like a bespoke VR Doom experience. I don't know what that would be like, really.
Yeah, so basically it was, you know, Link's crossbow training, where it was basically just taking Twilight Princess and making a little, rail shooter out of it. It was like that. It was just
Oh,
Doom 2016, but
see,
in VR.
see, that doesn't work for me because ideally, a a good VR experience for a first-person shooter should really just mean you can look around a little bit.
Well,
But
so
yeah.
I think that they wanted to do more. I don't know. That's what they did with Doom 3 VR, also on
Hmm.
uh, PSVR. So, and I have played that.
Let's see. Because when you say rail shooter, you don't move around, or
No, that was just a comparison that
oh,
they just took a couple of fragments of levels from Doom 2016 and remixed them, and it's a little VR thing.
okay, that sounds more like what I'd want.
Yeah, it's fine.
Huh.
But the controls are it's just down to PSVR 1 being a very weird
Hmm.
VR platform.
Yeah. To be fair, like Halo, this game, maybe Portal, but mostly Mirror's Edge is the biggest reason I bought the program because a game like Mirror's Edge seems perfect for that kind of thing, as long as you don't throw up.
Yeah, so I got pretty sick of trying to record this final part, just like with in the Cadinger Sanctum. I
Mm,
tried several times.
yeah, this level I died a lot.
It wasn't about dying so much as just making a couple stupid little mistakes, but also one. I think I mentioned it before. The hit two Barons of Hell with one shot. The game, for some reason, doesn't allow you to do that with the BFG. It has to
Right.
be with something else. So that threw me off. And there's only one part where you can get it, and it's at the very end. So if you miss it, you're screwed.
Hmm.
But yeah, more on Doom VFR. It was fun. It's mostly what you want out of VR because obviously a VR enthusiast is going to want to have the double move controllers control scheme where there's a gun in each hand and all that stuff. But that just doesn't work very well because move controllers were never meant to be VR controllers.
Oh, sick. That was cool.
Yeah, that was to get the mastery for that one.
I
But
didn't know the
if
electricity arced across different enemies like that. That was really neat.
I
Anyway, go
believe that
ahead.
that is that's the mastery for the stun bomb.
Ah,
But what you could also have a DualShock 4 only setup for that game, but then the guns and everything are tied to your head. Like you aim by looking rather than aiming at a controller, which I actually liked quite a bit more. But
Oh, because I
other
know.
people were like, "Well, it's not. I'm not immersed in the game because I'm just moving my head around to aim a gun." And it's like, that's probably my biggest problem with the discussion surrounding VR is everything must be immersive. Everything has to be as immersive as possible. Where I'm like, am I weird for thinking that VR games should still strive to be fun and functional
Well, yeah,
above immersive?
I will
Like, yeah,
say.
just because VR can be very immersive doesn't mean that everything must be sacrificed on that altar.
Right. I do think you need the option to always to have that on or off because for me, aiming with your head, it's cool, but that's not why I'd want to do it. I am doing it for the immersion, but it's kind of like how and I still haven't done this. Played the Prime hack of Dolphin. I mean the VR Dolphin hack of Prime Trilogy. Seems like it could be potentially incredible since that game was designed with a little Wii remote in mind. So,
Well,
yeah,
the problem isn't that every game doesn't let you choose between those two. It's just that the controllers that PSVR had for doing that were the Move controllers, and they were terrible.
yeah, it's funny. I
They
remember.
just weren't good VR controllers. So just have something that works instead of something that's immersive.
I do remember back in the day, like decades ago. Gosh, well, maybe not decades ago. Well, maybe decade and a half. Hanging around at Alma's his house, playing a PlayStation Move for the first time, and I thought that the controllers were surprisingly like able to track everything pretty well. Man, this map is big.
So yeah, I
But yeah,
gotta
no,
get enough kills with the BFG for a challenge here
right.
as well.
But I
Not that I
definitely
need
get,
any more weapon points. Everything's upgraded.
yeah, I definitely get what you mean. Like, there comes a point where, how much do you want a game to be realistic versus fun? It's kind of like, it's like why I really don't like the Forza series. I'd much rather play a more arcadey racing game like Need for Speed, the older ones anyway.
Yeah, and also like I think there was an Ace Combat game that had PSVR 2 support, and some people were like, "Well, why do you have to use the Dual Sense with it? Why can't you use the Sense controllers, the VR controllers?" And I'm like, just because you have a screen on your face doesn't mean that you have to use VR controllers. If a Sense works just fine, then
Yeah.
just use the Sense.
To those
Or
people,
the
I
Dual
posit,
Sense.
yeah. To those people, I posit, if you're gonna make that complaint, you might as well go out and get a flight stick and throttle control because if that's what you really want, at least go all the way.
Yeah, I would rather have enough buttons on my controller that I can do everything rather than trying to be like, oh, move the Sense controller forward to work the throttle.
Yeah, but no,
Yay,
that would
I
be
get to
terrible.
roleplay being a monkey in a cockpit.
No, you get to roleplay a my monkey in a cockpit because you get no force feedback, and that's what makes that truly terrible. That's why Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz made me want to die. Let's take one of the most fine-tuned surgeon reflexive games and pair it with the Wiimote. That seems like a great idea.
I see it as a bunch of people who are just so desperate for the future of games that they will take whatever is new and ignore all flaws to it because it's like this is what the future is, man.
Oh. So, is the guy... Is it implied that the ghost, that's his, like, corpse that was being siphoned off?
No, no. So that
That's
is
what
one of
I
the Night
understood.
Sentinels.
I see.
What these things are the Wraiths, and we learn more about them in Doom Eternal, but in a way that makes this whole level make not much sense.
Oh.
So the Wraiths are kind of something else. So we don't see them in this game, but there are the Doom universe equivalent of angels. Obviously, we have demons. Wraiths are like the third weird thing
Like
in this
the
universe.
Fae.
Yes, like the fairies in Bayonetta, except
It's a meat
not
cube. Oh,
completely stupid.
right. No, I say the Fae because traditionally, Fae are considered not good enough for heaven, but too good for hell. So they're in this weird limbo.
Yeah, and the wraiths were like the source of Argent Denur's energy and
Mm,
whatever. We'll go over that when we get to Eternal. But
right.
the fact that they're just here and that they are implied to be the sole source of Argent energy in this game is rendered completely false in Eternal.
I see.
And it's once again a thing of like them just making stuff up as they go and not really caring what stuff from previous games they render completely nonsensical.
Like J.K. Rowling. I say that joke because it's well known now that she was very reactionary to every book she ever wrote. When people would like critique what she did, she'd then change it. So she was kind of clout chasing the whole time. It's like, oh, people complained about the time turners. We destroyed all the time turners. Never mind. I don't know. It just seemed very,
Well, it was a heck of a risk for her to include time travel at all.
No, yeah, it was a mistake in the first place. Like, she could have framed it in a better way. Like,
There's just not. Even though some of my favorite movies are Back to the Future, time travel should only be handled by the people who know absolutely what they're doing. And even if you do it perfectly, you're still going to have people go, but wait.
time travel is more of an artistic device than a scientific one. You cannot make it work and make sense. Oh, yeah, before I forget. So the guy said he must not be allowed to free them. That's why I thought he was implying that the, like, ghost dudes are, you're freeing them as you're going or something.
No, we're freeing the Wraiths.
I see. Ugh. Well, I've been getting back into Doom Eternal in preparation for the Let's Play, and I gotta say, it has not been going well. The snake demons showed up, and I
Oh,
don't know how to deal with
whiplashes
them.
are can be tough.
I think I'm making the executive decision. I'm so rusty. Going on I'm too young to die difficulty might as well be the best course of action. I have to get through the game sooner than later. Although, playing it again reminds me, Doom Guy's his little arm blade makes me laugh because it's like, why aren't you just using this all the time, man? It's so busted.
Presumably, it only works when a demon is already weakened.
Right. Wow, that guy can
So I
take
think-
a beating.
Yeah. I think that this might be the hardest fight in this final level, even more so than the... this is only 2 of 3.
Right. I definitely had the most trouble with this one as well. You know, it's funny. I just realized the part where the missiles come up from, that's supposed to be an ammo hopper. And it's funny to think it's just, no, we got missiles in here.
Yeah.
You did it. The big redacted gun is complete.
I want the berserk. I want it.
Oh. Was that the last one? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it was in that earlier fight, that first one, where I had the berserk. That's where you could see quite clearly that most of the berserk kills are just the same 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Cosmoguy. I didn't take Doomguy for a magazine reader, but...
I think I didn't comment on it when we got it. I think it was earlier. One of them was Keen Guy, which is, of course, a reference to Commander Keen.
Ah.
Which was the platformer series that they made before they started doing shooters.
Hmm. And I was gonna guess that was a character from Starship Troopers. I cannot speak. My gosh.
Yeah, Commander Keen was basically birthed from their attempt to port Mario to the PC that Nintendo was not interested in.
Hmm. You know, with Microsoft pretty much saying we're just getting rid of exclusives, take them Sony, and Sony not making their own, like barely making games at all that are like exclusive for like the PS5. I predict in 5 to 10 years there's just going to be Nintendo, PC, and maybe PlayStation that just has Microsoft games as well. Like, I don't know.
PlayStation still has a market despite not getting games. Like PC just isn't for everyone. Nintendo's still gonna be around. PC's still around. Now, Xbox not being around is a distinct possibility.
Because here's the thing. You say that people aren't into PCs, but if the Steam Deck keeps gaining momentum, I could see it being a console killer.
I disagree, mostly because, yeah, the Steam Deck is popular, but it is not a threat to the PlayStation audience. Like, you think about it, if people want a high-end gaming experience but don't want to fiddle around with a computer that will cost like 2 to 3 times more if you want a half-decent one, like...
That's true. How much is a Steam Deck?
Steam Deck starts at like 500 or something.
Okay, yeah, so my argument is invalid. But yeah, Microsoft, like, Pat and Wooly were joking, like Pat was like, how ironic would it be if Microsoft went the way Sega did? Which is like, man. And to think at one time they tried to buy out Nintendo. That will never not be funny. Like, man. I think I barely used that ability. The triple shot.
It's decent enough.
Yeah. I guess for me the explosive shot was just too good to not use. Although by this point I was just using... Pretty much I didn't use the super... Or I was only using the super shotgun first. Like, anytime I wanted to use rounds. Because I just figured... Any shot out of a normal shotgun would be wasted that could have been used in a super shotgun.
Here it comes.
Oh my gosh!
It happened again.
Oh man. What's that, Cerberus? Doomguy fell down the hell well.
Oh, you said Cerberus, and the only thing I could think of was the boss in Devil May Cry 3.
Ah. Is it a big dog?
Yep. 3-headed dog.
Yes. Man, I just thought of something stupid, but I kind of want to see art of Doomguy, like punching, like not killing, but just punching Hades in the face from Disney.
That'd be pretty cool. All right, and there we are. Oh yeah, one of the recording attempts, I missed the Automap, so I started over.
Ah. So this is the last one, right?
This is 3 of 3.
Boy,
Well, this
what a
isn't
cache.
suspicious at all.
I think every single one of them have had that.
Yeah, this is the biggest trove by far.
What is a trove? I know it, like, I know treasure trove, but... Oh. Somebody laughing.
It sounded like crying to me.
Where are we in the video? We are... Huh. So this is going to be interesting.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, dang.
They promised me so much.
I guess that's what you get when you throw in your lot with demons.
Okay, so... Here's what I thought when I fought this thing. Is this Olivia Pierce?
So I also thought that she had been forcibly transformed into the Spider Mastermind here. However, I believe that it has been clarified since that she was not.
Okay.
We are not fighting Olivia right here.
Okay. Just because it seemed on brand, considering the big old, like, exoskeleton.
Right, there are definitely comparisons you could make, and maybe they were trying to evoke that, and maybe that's what they were intending, but then after Eternal they were like, nah. But this, I mean, the Spider Mastermind was also the final boss of the original Doom.
I see. I cannot stand enemy design or character design in general with an exposed brain. It just skeeves me out so bad. I don't like to think about having a brain. Thank you very much. Or the fact that I kind of am my brain. Ugh. A lot of neurotoxin coming out of that thing.
There's
Good
some schools
grave.
of thought that can make it so that your brain isn't you, just a part of you.
That's true. I'm just saying, if you had to say where you live, you kind of live in your brain, if that makes sense. But there is your, like, your digestive system also has enough neuronic or like neural stuff in it that you could argue it's like a second brain.
I very much like how, as you go through the boss fight, she, like, starts losing the control of her limbs, and...
I never noticed that. I will say, something was supposed to happen here that didn't for me. Oh, you didn't glory kill it?
Oh, no, I am. Open wide.
Oh. Nice. So, you know the grenade attack it does?
Yeah.
Mine got glitched and it kept doing it over and over and over, and it made it really easy to kill.
Oh.
But man, you went to town.
It's easy when you have like infinite ammo for all of your most
Yeah.
powerful,
Yeah, I
highly
didn't
upgraded
have that.
weapons.
You've won. It's over. You stopped the invasion and closed the portal. But it's come at a price. Argent, Vega, this entire operation. You see, I've watched you work. Come to understand your motivation. You think the only way is to kill them all. Leave nothing behind. And you may be right. But we can't just shut it all down. Without Argent energy, it will be worse. I don't expect you to agree. But with this, we can continue our work. I am not the villain in this story. I do what I do because there is no choice.
Rerouting tether coordinates complete.
Our time is up. I can't kill you, but I won't have you standing in our way
Whoa.
until we see each other again.
I can't wait for this whole ending to be barely followed up on in Eternal, and then followed up on, but not really. Well, that was Doom 2016.
It was a pretty high time through all. A lot of games struggle with the ending, and I think it did a good job.
Indeed. Honestly, I think that this game is a must play. You don't have to be an FPS enthusiast to play it. You don't have to be like deep into Doom or this, era of games. It's the kind of game that I can always go back to, even after Eternal.
Yeah, Eternal and Doom 2016, to me, I compare them as like, not quite, but a little bit different between Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Like, they're still mostly the same game, but they're just different enough that I can't get the same experience out of one versus the other. 3 levels in, and I can tell that already.
Yeah, and there's not much excuse not to play 2016 either. It's on every modern platform, and apart from Switch, it goes on sale for like $5 or less constantly.
I like these little vignettes. It's kind of neat.
Oh yeah,
What is that?
I assume that's like a Roomba bot
Ah,
that they had in like the background of some level.
I saw them around. So, when I compare this game to Metroid Prime, it is funny. You get weapons and you get abilities, but the weapons you get don't really unlock anything. Like in Metroid. Although, 2D Metroid, most of the time, weapons also don't really unlock new stuff, other than like super missiles, maybe, but.
Yeah, I would compare this to imagine if Prime 3 dispensed with all of the Metroidvania elements and leaned even harder into its action.
Right. Honestly, I almost... Oh, that's a good spread. I almost prefer that than trying to, like, play it both ways. I mean, I like the action vignettes, but I didn't feel alone enough playing Prime 3.
But yeah,
We will
it's
be tossed! Sorry, I had to say
no,
it.
you're good. This is just an all around fun time from beginning to end. Maybe the slightest handful of weaknesses that only really become important when you start comparing it to Doom Eternal. And while there were other games before it that were starting to do this more retro inspired design, this game really perfected and popularized it.
I would say that this game paved the way for movement shooters to come back in a big way.
Very much so.
Because what is it? There's Turbo Overkill. There's Oh man, I can't think of the other ones. What's the game with the one with the coin that you flip and then you shoot the coin?
Ultra Kill.
Yeah, there's Ultra Kill. I don't know. There's Funk has. Oh, that's cool. Those guys. That it almost feels like. It's such a classic
Recreating the
shot.
original cover.
id. What does id stand for?
I believe it's just referencing the id in like the mind, the ego, superego, and id.
I see. Womb music. What a name. I don't see the origin. I don't see a name for Doom Guy.
I think he would have been. Did he even
Additional
have any
voices.
kind of voice in this game? I'm not
'Cause-
sure if he even had grunts.
Because in Eternal, he definitely does.
Yeah, he does. I think he
kinda
would be
don't
credited
like
as
that.
Doom Marine in this game, though.
Mm.
But yeah, you have any other final thoughts?
I guess. I don't know. I wish that there was DLC for this game, because as much as Eternal is going to be fun, there's a certain game feel from this game that I wish I could have gotten more. And I'm sure going back and playing more of it will scratch that itch somewhat, but I don't know.
Technically,
I
there
feel like-
was
yeah.
DLC.
Oh, really?
It was multiplayer only, though, and these days
Oh.
it's just automatically applied to everyone. So
I forgot that. I forgot this game had a multiplayer mode.
yeah, and that's once we get to Eternal, we can talk about that a little bit more about the differences between the multiplayer for both games, and yeah, that's an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, then I guess we will sign off from this playthrough.
You want to talk about what's upcoming next?
Yeah, the plan is for the next playthrough to be the channel's very first solo playthrough. I'm going to be jumping back into Sly Cooper and do the original game by myself.
It should be a good time. And then after that, we're going to hit up Wario World because we got to cleanse the palate a little bit before doing more Doom. And I just
Yep.
need more time to beat the game. Oh,
Yep,
gosh.
So after that, we should be on to Doom Eternal. Now, of course, anything can happen. Plans could get derailed, but that is our plans at this point. So we will see you next time.